Oh, green light.
Keep going.
Yeah.
You're good to go.
On, computer's working? Okay, we'll call this meeting to order. Notice posted in accordance with Wisconsin statutes, meeting law, we got that?
Oh, it's just tactic. Yeah.
The new year, right? We got it both times?
Yeah, I double checked it, I looked at it all today again.
Okay, so from notice. Secretary to read the notice of the public hearing?
Notice of public hearing, State of Wisconsin, County of Burnett, Monday, April 4th, 2022, at 6 p.m. at the Burnett County Government Center in Room 165, Town of Neenan, Siren, Wisconsin, regarding the following. Variance number 2201 passed. Public notice is hereby given to all persons in the town of Swiss, Burnett County, Wisconsin, that Gregory Hess has made an application relative to a proposal to vary the terms of the Burnett County Land Use and Shoreline Protection Code of Ordinances as follows. To construct an addition on the dwelling, said proposed addition doesn't meet the road setback, and to leave a retaining wall and patio which were constructed without land use permits, which don't meet the road setback on Lakes Drive, located at 30024 Lakes Drive, in the RR2 zoning district, Lot 1, CSM Volume 3, page 220, Section 2741. Variance 2202, Irwin and Frankenberg. Public notice is hereby given to all persons in the town of Trade Lake, Burnett County, Wisconsin, that Deborah Irwin has made an application relative to a proposal to vary the terms of the Burnett County Land Use and Shoreline Protection Code of Ordinances as follows. To construct a garage at a reduced setback, lake setback, and at a reduced setback to the center line of a private road located on Round Lake at 11649 Pearson Lane in the RR2 zoning district, parcel in Government Lot 5, Lots 2 and 3 of survey map filed as D1179, Section 273718. Variance 2203, Bandic. Public notice is hereby given to all persons in the town of Scott, Burnett County, Wisconsin, that Mark Bandic has made an application relative to the proposal to vary the terms of the Burnett County Land Use and Shoreline Protection Code of Ordinances as follows. To construct a dwelling at a reduced lake setback located on McKenzie Lake at 1243 County Road E in the RR1 zoning district, lots 4 through 9, Barron Park subdivision, section 244014. Variance 2204, Redunzel. Public notice is hereby given to all persons in the town of Oakland, Burnett County, Wisconsin, that Todd Redunzel has made an application relative to the proposal to vary the terms of the Burnett County Land Use and Shoreline Protection Code of Ordinances as follows. To replace more than 50% of the structural components of a non-conforming structure located at 5806 County Road A in the A2 zoning district parcel in Government Lot 6, Section 364016. Variance 2205, Teets. Public notice is hereby given to all persons in the town of Wood River, Burnett County, Wisconsin, that Craig Sealander, on behalf of Jeffrey and Christine Teets, has made an application relative to a proposal to vary the terms of the Burnett County Land Use and Shoreline Protection Code of Ordinances as follows. To construct a dwelling, patio, and detached garage at a reduced lake setback and at a reduced setback to the center line of a private road, variance to be valid for 5 years, located on Wood Lake at 22495 County Road M in the RR1 zoning district, Lot 1, CSM, Volume 29, 734. Oops, that wasn't right. Volume 29, page 7, Section 343818. in case you noticed I got that.
Okay, thank you. And then do we have approval for the agenda order?
Make a motion to approve the agenda order.
I second it.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, well, the board members have all visited the sites. We have all people are here. We got everybody that's gonna present. I don't think we have any other public comments that are other than the scheduled hearings tonight. I don't think we have anybody here to speak, so okay there. The hearing's being recorded and videoed, so we ask that only one person speak at a time so that the recording picks it up. Board asks that one person from the announced variance be designated by the applicant to present their case before the board and come up with the chair there and start there. The board will then close we'll hear from everybody and any comments from letters or anything like that, neighbors concerned, anybody else who wants to speak on it. After we've heard all that, then we close that portion of the hearing, and then we'll deliberate amongst ourselves, and you will hear our decision yet tonight before you leave. Applicant, local officials, and DNR shall receive within 30 days a letter summarizing the hearing, also including information on applicants' rights to appeal the decision in circuit court within 30 days. Any person aggrieved by this decision, or taxpayer, or any officer, department, board of review, or bureau of the county may, within 30 days after filing of this decision in the office of the Board of Adjustment, commence an action in circuit court seeking remedy available by certiorari. So with that, we'll start. The first one is variance 22-01, Hess. You want to come up and take the hot seat there? Just kind of give us a summary of where you're going here, what you're asking for. We've all been out there. We've got our information here, so.
Sure.
Anything new you want to present to us, that's fine too.
There's just two items. One is that we were going to construct additions onto our house to add a garage. Currently, we have more of what's called a shed to the side of the house for storage of tools, vehicles, and whatnot. Doesn't fit any of our automobiles, so we wanted to build a garage. In doing so, I went to pull a permit and realized that apparently patio paver blocks are considered a permanent structure. So therefore, I filed for that at the same time. And then when the land use lady came out to check it, she said, oh, okay, this is an issue, and then we got to get all the other stuff done accordingly. So, I don't know.
For clarification, the patio block is where the retaining wall and fire pit are, right?
That is correct. So I guess I can start with the first part is, our request for the variance on the garage. I was also sent an email last Friday that stating from Mr. Town that your other board member who is not here, Marv Stoll, was saying that if we could move the garage from 3.31 foot to a 2 foot, it would be less intrusive into the setback. With that being said, I believe what he's outlining here is our 3.31 that we're extending out. The reason we did that was when I had the architect out to determine how to lay out the garage and everything else so that we still had a storage place, was to try and be 4 feet away from the current dwelling as you're building the construction. The existing garage is just a poured slab. There is no foundation underneath it. There's nothing for us to tie in. So that's why we're going to come out 3.31 feet, which is block dimension. And then we're going to go the longer distance of 34 feet and then set it back 31.33 feet. And then, as you can see, so we're asking for that 5.6 foot.
So you don't undermine your footings.
Exactly. And then allows us to get the footings, the foundation done, and some of the concrete work before we tear the garage down with what limited storage space we have now.
Well, questions. What's the height of the walls on the garage and then the pitch of the roof, the height of the building?
So we'll be going up 2 stories. So like can hand you, that's the actual planned drawings. So the actual construction for the block wall, I believe, is 4 foot to get below the frost line, and we'll bring in that brick up for our sill to ground level.
Then you're doing the house too.
We're gonna do in stages. The first stage is to build a garage, so I got a place to park and store stuff. And then we'll tie into, basically tear out the existing garage and then tie that into the house, hopefully to do that this year. And then next year's phase will be to lift the roof on the house and bring up the second story on the house.
Shows the dash lines in here. So what are the dimensions of that? What, is there a porch off the front of that towards the lake? Towards the back of the lot? What's that dash?
The dash is, there was gonna be a deck. So I believe it's, yeah, 7.3 foot for just a walkout.
The deck off the dash.
Yeah, so that would be facing the lake area.
Yep, I can see it.
And then it says that existing, storage shed that's tucked in the back corner there. That's,
I put that up last fall just so I could store. We actually moved from St. Paul fully up here in July last year, and so it's just consolidation. We will remove that storage shed once the garage is there. And I believe that is outlined in our, shed to be removed on our site plan.
any other questions? You guys? So the only violation on record is the patio and retaining wall at the fire pit, is that true? Yes. And then the shed that will be relocated, right, it's too close to the property line. And do we have any correspondence from anybody? Neighbors or town or?
Nope, the one thing from Mars was this.
Okay. And so for the setback, it's just this 5.6
Yes,
little corner of the garage that it doesn't meet our setbacks, right?
that's correct.
25 square feet about, or not even that.
Yeah.
12 and a half. If you divide it to triangle.
It's a triangle, yeah.
And that existing structure only goes another, what, 22 feet?
Which one are you talking?
The proposed garage only continues another 22 feet to the northwest
Yeah.
from the existing garage.
Yeah.
When you're on site, you can see the vehicles parked up on the hill there.
Yes.
So with that, when you think of it from that scale, it's only in
Right.
another,
It's
22
enough to get
feet.
the two vehicles in there.
Correct.
What direction do you drive into the garage?
So we'll be coming in from the south. I don't know if you can see the outline of the driveway here.
Oh, yep, gotcha.
So you come in from this direction, and that's why we put on a 16-foot garage door so that you can actually come in and turn into the garage. So that's part of the reason why it's 34 foot long. And I think I outlined, this is the actual dimensions of the garage as a close-up view. So you would be coming in from this direction.
From the fire pit side.
Matches, yep, that matches. Okay, any other question, anybody else? For this one?
Bart Krause, surveyor, we got the work out there for him. It's basically a corner lot too, so you would have a lot of setback with the 33-foot right of way and the 30-foot setback, so it really tightens that lot down tremendously. So this is kind of the best way to fit everything on there that they need to get on there with the reasonable future construction needs of what they're doing there. So,
You get the steep banks, hills there too, kind of, so.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
Mark, when you measure that, one of the things that's tough is when you understand the town road has a 66-foot right-of-way, a lot of times your lane is only 18, 16, 20 feet in that. And I see there's a center line as traveled. Where's the, I wish they would put the actual current road on the right-of-way too, because that does have a factor on where, because we've had a town circumstance where the road was moved on a corner within that right-of-way, and that makes difference on what it is. And like I said, none of the structures are beyond the dotted line of the right-of-way, so it's not an issue. But when I seen the center line, it's like, it'd be nice to actually have an overlay of the actual road within the right-of-way, because there's literally 40 feet there that isn't being used for road.
That's correct.
Because it can shift within that right-of-way, and that is the landowner's land that the town and the county have the right-of-way too, so.
It's that did happen there on the sharp part of the curve. It's the actual center line is flatter, and on the south side is further away from the buildings actually. So it's not centered in there. The original survey was done in '76. Right. And so the road's been rebuilt at least once since that time period. You can see it's.
And your grader operator dictates where the road is.
Downhill on the other side.
They make it easier to go.
Correct. Thank you.
Okay,
Did you have any questions on the patio?
I think that's pretty straightforward. You got a picture of this?
Well, I did, and I just wanted to show is that where the line is drawn, where the patio, it's a small corner that intrudes, and then the rest is the retaining wall. And I just wanted to show you what the actual, the slope of the land, and that's why we put the retaining wall, so that, to keep a distance from the house, kind of our walkway lane, kind of see how the land sloped, so.
We were all out there and seen it,
Yeah.
so. Pretty good. Yeah, snow, yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you.
all right.
Okay, well, I think we can close this portion of the hearing then. Deliberate amongst ourselves and.
Thank you.
On our three criteria, I think that certainly have unique characteristics of this lot.
Yep.
I think we're contrary to public interest.
Nope.
Necessary hardship, even in there, kind of beside a garage is important. That, impervious surfaces, are we okay there?
They don't apply to this one because these are
Not going to the water, so we're okay?
riparian
Okay.
parcels.
Yeah.
We did have we had 14%.
I thought I seen that somewhere, yeah. So we're okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Dave Ferris had, recommendation to have erosion control even though it's far from the lake, so when they.
Well, yeah, so that nothing runs off the property to the neighbor's property. You have to retain everything onto your property when you're disturbing the soil. And so they're required to, if we allow the retaining wall and not to stay in the patio, they would have to get a permit for that.
Reasonable.
Yeah, the only
Solution and
encroachment
variance.
here is 5.6 feet on the
Right.
corner. Yeah. Motion?
I'll make a motion to approve variance 2201 Hess with the following conditions: that the proper erosion control and stormwater runoff controls be in place. Attain all land use permits to be obtained for the items that were not attained originally. And then follow all local, county, and state and federal requirements for this activity.
We got a motion, we have a second?
I second it.
Favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, carried. So, normal business hours, you can get a hold of the zoning office and they'll take care of you.
Dennis, if you can did he give you some?
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
I don't think, so you can get it in the record. Thank you.
Okay, everybody ready? We're okay on the camera. Variance 2202, Irwin and Frankenberg.
Oh, I'm Rich Irwin. We're applying for a variance for our garage at cabin that we purchased a couple of years back. Doesn't fit in your, I'm sure you've all seen out the property there and seen how close not too possible to build on the north side of the driveway there, about tripling the cost, if not more. So I was looking for a garage that we can park our boat and a car, and at the end on the lake side, we'll have a little runout, leftover bunk room. And that's where the size of the garage came into play, is for overflow sleeping.
So this is more than a garage, this is a dwelling also. Bunkhouse. Yeah.
Yep, bunkhouse.
Do we have a drawing, what it looks like, how tall and all that good stuff?
Well, what we were going for was, this is something we're gonna purchase through Menards there, type of deal. So it's just gonna be, the.
Windows face the lake,
Correct.
you're coming in then from the driveway here, that makes sense, yeah. A little steep out the other way.
Yes, it is.
So 1 story,
Correct.
It will be also a garage
Yes.
and a bunk.
Yeah, there'd just be a 10-foot or 9-foot wide room. The depth of the garage, 9 by 24, which will be, all window and overflow.
how high are the sidewalls?
They're 9. I wanted to get an 8-foot door so I can get the pontoon in there.
No, 412 or 612 pitch? right?
412. We were trying to, I'd been in contact with the neighbor at the end. We had removed a whole bunch of trees to enhance his view, but in return, we had to put a dwelling up, and so that's why we angled it that way, so he can still have a clear view of the lake.
That's the house that's shown right on the lot line, I assume. That one you're referencing, this neighbor here?
Yes,
That
yeah,
close?
so, yeah, this was all full of trees right in here.
Yep.
So he was blocked off completely.
Is he in favor or opposed?
Yes, he is. Yep.
Out of curiosity.
And then you have the fence in the lake setback yet, is that correct?
Yes. We put the padlock on the septic cover,
That's done already.
and then both sheds will be removed.
Both sheds will be removed, yeah. Violations with no lock on the septic and fence within the lake setback, that's all we had there. How are we on pervious surfaces on this one?
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
What a percentage, Jason? a refresher? What's the percentage?
15 is the, what
Max.
you can go up to with no mitigation, and 30% with mitigation.
Gotcha.
With this, we had 12% from, just a hair over 12%.
You've been off for 4 or 5 months, that's pretty good.
Okay, any other questions? Anybody else comments on this one? Nobody online? Anything, any other letters or anything from neighbors, town? Nothing, wow. Okay, well, we can close that portion of the hearing then, and then we'll deliberate and let you know.
Does he need Shoreline Restoration here?
Yeah, they've got the stuff listed there. 6 things there that should be. Allow it read in. Well, I think the 3 criteria, I think that, you know, we come up with, you need the garage.
Yeah, unique property limitations,
And
like I said, that back part of that lot is,
Straight up, yeah.
I think that's more of an environmental thing to
Yep.
tear into that than it is to go where he is. Harm to public interest, I didn't see anything, especially on testimony saying the neighbor that would, I think, be most directly impacted seems to be okay with it.
Rotating the building so that it doesn't block their view.
Mm-hmm. Unnecessary hardship.
And then the 2 sheds are gonna be removed. Take care of those violations. Is there a septic tank?
His, staff
Lot.
comments don't mention the fence. That also, don't we?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't remember.
I did not, where is your fence?
It's not on the map.
Can you show it?
It's on the other side of the
We didn't get the
house.
staff comments, so we didn't have it when I went out and looked at it, we didn't. I didn't
Go
have that,
on,
but-
Okay,
Okay,
so.
so-
the lot line,
Yeah.
Let's see here.
Okay, then-
I'm backwards.
that's why.
Right here, right, this property line here was all buckthorn down to the lake, and we removed all the buckthorn, and between the neighbor and I, we split and put a semi-privacy fence along this line.
And how far do they have to be back with that? 75?
Mhm.
That's past the house, so that doesn't do us any good.
Yeah. So they don't allow the fence there.
And is there a way around,
The neighbor helped, you guys
Yeah.
built it together?
Yeah, we went in on it.
Well, this board denied us fence variance last year for a different person that wanted a fence.
We've never allowed that. We've never
Yeah.
allowed the fences
I
on the
don't
lake.
know, plant shrubs if you want a buffer between your neighbor.
Okay.
It's a removable fence too, if it's not permanent.
Helps, that's good.
That's good, then you can move it then.
I'm just
Not 8-inch concrete. pour-
I didn't realize that was gonna be an issue.
Yeah, most people don't realize
We
that.
get a lot of comments that they like our fence, but
Everybody on Lake loves it.
You can tell.
they're gonna run into the same situation.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you. Any other comments? If not, yeah, go ahead and make a motion.
All right, I make a motion that we approve, variance 2202 for Irwin and Frankenberg to, vary the terms of the land use and construct a garage at a reduced lake setback and reduce setback to the center line of the private road. Along with that, shoreland restoration should be, taken into account, and for that they see,
Land and water.
okay, see land and water for what has to be done there. During construction, of course, proper erosion control and stormwater runoff controls need to be put in place. The shed near the lake needs to be removed, from the property, and you said that you were already planning to do that. The fence must be removed in the 75-foot setback from the lake. And you will need to, of course, have a land use permit for the garage prior to construction, and then follow the local, state, and federal requirements for this activity. Yes.
Yes, we got a motion, do we have a second?
I will second that motion.
On a motion, second,
Aye.
all signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye, carried.
So again, if you just see them on normal working day hours during the day to take care of it, you're all set? Thank you. Set on the computer, good there? Good, okay. Okay, variance, 22-03, Van Dyke, is that how you say it? Van Dyke. Van Dyke, thank you.
Hi, I'm Mark Bandick, and I am asking the board for a variance in order to demolish an existing cabin, which is within 75 feet of the lake, and allow me to rebuild at a little bit bigger footprint, no closer to the lake. I'm asking to go on the rear of the building back 2 feet, on the west side of the building 4 feet, and on the east side of the building approximately 10 feet. Now, as everybody's been out there, the place is uninhabitable. It's horrible looking. It's an eyesore. There are a lot of issues there. I did read the board's report, and I would be more than happy to do all the shoreline restoration, to get rid of the concrete pad, which is in front of the cabin. The only thing I would ask is that it seems in the front of the pad, there seems to be a retaining wall that was built years back that has done a very good job in order to keep any more erosion from the front of the cabin. I'm just afraid that if I take the front of that off, might be opening up a can of worms as far as stuff really going into the lake. So if like I said, I'd be willing to take the concrete pad off, either take it off completely or take it off and replace it with some kind of permeable surface to get the water down. The roof lines of the proposed new construction, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to show you this way, all of the roof lines, and these are just preliminary. We all go away from the hill to the back and off to the side. And hopefully you see that's a much better look than the lump of sherbet ice cream that exists there now. I've spoken to the contractor, and they would, he said they would definitely need to build up the site approximately 2 feet, 3 feet to get it out of the floodplain, and slope the soil away so the water would run off. Like I said, I would be more than happy to do all the shoreline restoration. I work with the conservation group to find out what plants, what trees, what shrubs to plant there. I don't want it to look like a golf course. I want this to go back natural looking.
What is your septic system currently, outhouse or?
There is a septic system there, but that building has not been used in approximately 30 years, over 30 years. So it's just, I would have, yeah.
Can they get that out of the floodplain? How far out do they have to come from the building and there isn't room to come to the lake?
You're supposed to have 15 feet of fill around the building. We've had other ones like this before that we get as much as we can, basically.
And then you put a retaining, well, how do you,
Do you have a copy of the site plan with the elevations on it?
Believe so.
Spot elevation.
Spot elevations?
Yep.
The only place that's in the floodplain is right in front of the boathouse door, where it says 89.2. The actual RFE out there is 990-ish. And so they're basically about a foot below the flood elevation there, so they'd have to bring in about a foot of fill there. Technically, 2 feet of fill to be above it legally, and the floor would have to be a foot higher than that. So realistically, they only have to put about a foot and a half of fill in that lowest spot. The rest of it is pretty natural. They could match in with what they have, and they plan on coming up with the building. So matching with the retaining wall that they have there right now and coming out there, I think that would accomplish what you're doing there, because McKinsey Lake is only about a foot higher than the normal water out there because of the creek that goes out. So the floodplain is not very high out there. It may seem like you're low, but it is. It's not that high out there.
what's that east side? The 989 that's below.
Yeah, just that low spot, there's a little X spot there.
Yep.
And you can see the yard over there on the east side where it's 990, that's out of the floodplain there, so that is fine.
So I don't think it'd be much of an issue.
So you own lot 2?
My brother and I own the entire,
All of this?
all of it, yes,
Then you own this.
yes.
So what would keep you from building here?
That would be, I believe, too close to the lake. And that is, very close to my neighbor. I do have a neighbor next door. That would be, if I could just show you, his home. Right over here.
That's a big one. And
Yes, yes, on the corner.
We got.
And I'm sure he doesn't, want to be looking at, but the main idea is to get rid of that eyesore, and it's falling apart. And I just enough room, extra room for a mechanical room, so I could hit, the hot water heater, the furnace. Anything else on the property is, you saw, it's a huge hill.
Yeah, it's
So I'd
hill
have to-
coming
yeah.
down here and the driveway comes down here, so.
Yeah.
That would, so the driveway takes it out, you can't come down anywhere else, it's just straight down almost. So-
Yeah.
So you don't have a choice where the driveway goes. Well, then over here, the 75-foot setback area. Not a very big area. But
Pretty tight.
20 by 20 or something, if that,
Yeah.
20 triangle. 20-foot triangle is what it is, right? You couldn't move that road, you can't,
no,
steep as that is all the way down there, that'd be disastrous.
Yes. When you're driving down during the winter, it'd be like,
It already is, right?
yeah.
Just walking.
It took me
down there.
15 minutes to get up there the other day, and there was like only a foot of snow. It was just, I could not get
Out
up.
there. Okay. And you can't move back any further?
No.
Go straight up there, you can't move back, you're coming back a little bit, but. So how
I
much
believe
of
there-
the concrete do you want to keep there, that you're showing?
I don't need to keep any of the concrete. I mean, maybe just a little side to get to the door, but anything in the front here, like I said, I'll get rid of that. All I'm asking for is, I would talk to the contractor and whoever, you know, I need to speak to at the DNR when I put in riprap. I would like to do riprap and some, natural trees, shrubs, all the way. I'll do the riprap within reason, like from that property line or a little bit
Mhm.
closer in. It's about here.
Mhm.
But like I said, I'm concerned about that retaining wall. That seems to be a good job holding all of this soil in. So take the top of that concrete pad off and either leave it grass, fill it in with, you know, grass or a non-permeable paving stone base. But I'm very nervous about taking down that front wall because, like I said, that could be a Pandora's box there.
Is there any pavement that we need to reduce, you know, once you're down the hill, so the erosion doesn't affect? Or anything?
Impervious surfaces, are we okay here on that?
Oh, what is, it's
The way we
okay. Yeah. Just lot one is a little bit over 15%, but you're grandfathered in to what they have for hard surface, so. And,
We're really on lot two, right?
With lot,
No.
or, I mean, what we can
I
do.
mean, we talked a little bit when I was out there with you about trying to get it so the water isn't just coming down.
Well, here's the thing too, and if you, maybe when you were out there, you were covered with snow.
That's right.
This right here, an asphalt boat ramp that was probably covered with snow. I'd be more than happy to dig that all up and get rid of that, because this, if there is any water running in, it would be coming from here. So I'd be willing to cut this out, cut this whole boat launching ramp out. My grandfather used it as he would pull the pontoon in from there. So I'd be willing to dig that out, get that out, and that would really help out too with the water runoff.
Apart from waivers, what we kind of looked at, what the soil conservation probably want to do is put a little bit of a swale or plantings along the base there to catch all the water coming off that pavement. It'd be pretty easy to do is put a little swale along there and catch all the stormwater runoff and that, to slow things down. Plus, you probably need the water to grow the plants down there because it's pretty sandy, so that'd be a good win for both ways to get plants to grow. So I think it's a very doable landscape type of plan there to refurbish that area.
But you mean remove that boat launch area?
So remove that and get a little bit of a swale there to
Yeah.
stop it.
Get
from
that,
running.
and then just
Yeah.
whatever soil conservation, but plants would be needed, trees, shrubs, and just stop mowing there and just let everything go.
And that would be part of the shoreline restoration
Yeah.
that they do there.
Yes. I've spoken to all the neighbors. They're pretty happy about, you know, maybe getting rid of the eyesore. All three of them have reached out to me on the east, west, and Craig behind me across Highway D.
We'd be doing with the properties, there's basically 650-foot parcels there right now with the structures that are existing on there, so that's what we reconfigured into a certified survey map into, you know, 2 parcels for the long run. And that way, the way we divided was to get the areas separated for the buildable areas and kind of the lay of the land, because we definitely have to have the driveway there, but we can't have the buildable spot over on that area without the hill there, and so this is where we live, and the family would be doing something with the cabin and house up on top as far as refurbishment and all that.
And that would be a condition on the, approve this to do that. That's a requirement that they would need, that the zoning has to issue their permit anyway, right?
If you look on the east side of the, structure too, there is a pad where there used to be a fish house.
Okay.
It's a concrete pad. I'm gonna bust that out and take that out also. Used to be a fish house, it roof fell in, so my brother and I just took the whole thing down, but the concrete pad remains.
There's talk of these 6 lots. I don't know if I missed it. Is there a map of the original 6 deeded lots of them?
Included in
You
that.
know, but it's 50 foot. See how it's 300
Correct.
right
It's,
now?
so it's,
Literally.
all 6 of those
50
lots
foot
are
wide,
are
all
encompassed
skinny.
in lot 1 and lot 2 of this diagram. They've been, okay, that's,
Straight up, that's.
I wasn't sure if there was a lot to the side. That's why I was like, wait a minute, because we're issuing permit for just certain lots. I want to make sure that we're not contingent on ones that aren't applicable.
In essence, they have 6 buildable parcels, and they're pretty much, when this is done, they're giving that up and having 2. Lot 1 and lot 2. Instead of 6.
Correct.
For size-wise, you can see on each side, there's lot 3 shown and lot 10 shown. That's the
Oh.
50-foot lots on each side. And Farron Park was one that was done back in the 1930s or whatever, so they went all the way from County E all the way down to the lake, and we're along E, so that's.
That's the neighbor, yeah. They're all 50-foot wide along there, so this is 300. That's quite an improvement, really. Big place going in there, but you got the back hill, it's straight up, so it's gonna
Yeah.
blend in better, I think. Ooh, so it helps a little bit. Any other questions from the board members? Anybody else want comments from the? Nobody called in? Any letters from town, neighbors? Okay, well, I guess we can close this portion of the hearing then, and we'll deliberate amongst ourselves. Well, the 3 criteria on this one, clearly the lots, this is unbelievable unique shapes, and steep banks, and like it's contrary to public interest, I think, we're close to the water flow of the building there, but getting rid of 6 lots down to 2, huge. The one house that's on the second lot is way back, it's 200 feet back from the lake, and way up on the hill, you don't even see it from the lake. Was it contrary to public interest? No. Unnecessary hardship? No. Physical property? Yep, we got it. So I think the 3 criteria were okay.
They should have added,
Yeah, I guess that's not on our, it's not part of it right now.
That'll be the future variance
Variance,
request.
yeah. I didn't look at that for that, so I wouldn't be able to answer that anyway, so. Pretty steep there. I think that removing the boat ramp is a good idea in the old fish house pad. I thought that might be an old well pad or something, that's what I thought that might be. And then, certainly the shoreline restoration, where they're putting a swell there, put a swell there where that, removing that boat ramp. Retain the water a little bit, otherwise it'll just wash out.
Yep.
Then what was the overall height of that building?
The, would be, since it's slanted, the back wall of the middle section. 12 feet, the highest part, about, in the center section with all the windows.
Oh.
About 19,
Okay,
the bedrooms would be maybe a couple higher. So 2021, this.
So if we limited it to 24 foot high, we should be safe.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. I think we should put that on there. And then, of course, it needs to be lifted out of the floodplain. We need to. Yeah, he's got that. Item 4 there, we have that listed.
I'll make a motion to approve variance 2203 Vandyck with the following conditions. Shoreline restoration should be made part of the approval. The proposed dwelling is in the lake setback. The removal of the boat launch ramp per shoreline restoration and that fish house pad. Sanitary system be installed as current requirements for this new dwelling. Sanitary system evaluation to be completed for the 2 parcels, because they're recommending, or.
Yeah, that one is in there, you know,
Just-
it's just, we don't have any record of
yeah.
what's going on the sewer.
Just 'cause it's so old.
Another cabin either.
Land use permit to be obtained for this new dwelling prior to construction, which include the floodplain compliance. Site address to be obtained for this new dwelling prior to land use permit issuance. Certified survey map to be completed and reconfigured to the 6 parcels into the 2 parcels, lot 1 and lot 2, and this is pertaining to the lot 2 construction. Concrete pad, the concrete pad to the lake and the proposed dwelling should be removed or replaced with a permeable structure on top. Follow all local, county, state, and federal requirements for this activity. And also the total height of the structure not to exceed 24 feet. I think that's.
We get the swale where we're taking out the boat ramp.
I assume we could list it specifically, but I think with the floodplain compliance, I think that would be part of it, wouldn't it, with Ferris?
Or the shoreline restoration.
Shoreline should be.
Sure, yeah.
Shoreline will get it, okay.
The shore, because the removal, we talked about the boat launch removal, so.
We got a motion, do we have a second?
I second it.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, carried. So if you can see them on normal business hours, they'll take care of you.
Dennis, can I get that packet for that garage for the last one?
Okay, we're still good on the camera, we're still good. Okay, variance 2204, Gunzel.
My name's Todd Redunzel, and I'm hoping to get a variance approved for keeping my cabin in the same location that it is after being over 50% new structural materials. I just wrote a little bit of a background on the project, if you guys want to hear it. Bought the cabin earlier last year, and my wife doesn't feel safe without shelter for storms, so I decided to put a full basement under it. And I got the land use permit to do the basement and the deck, and mentioned at that time I would also do windows, roof siding. And I had a professional mover pick up the cabin. I had Taylor Excavating dig the hole. Weaver Concrete did the basement. Corey Jackson did my rough-in and installed the septic tanks. And he was planned to do the mound for the septic this year. I had a new power line ran by the electric company. I had that dug in. And once the cabin was set, we started tearing into it, found more problems that I would have expected, hence why it's over the 50%. I'm really thorough. I'm a cabinet maker by trade, so this time it was to my detriment. The cabin's the same size and in the same location that it's been in for what I'm told is at least the last 60 years. With the larger than normal setbacks from the wetland to the north, County Road T to the east, and County Road A to the south, there's no other possible location to have the cabin with the well and the septic. The layout keeps all of the required distances and setbacks except for the distance from County Road A. And by cleaning up the property and working up there, I've met quite a few nice people, gotten a lot of thumbs up. and horn honks and stuff like that as they go by and I'm working and positive feedback. And I only want to add to the area. I don't want to detract from it. So it'll be a cute little place and simple. And that's what I got.
Okay, so what's there, so to help, we can see, we know what we're getting there. Is well house to be abandoned?
Yep. There's going to be a new well that's going to be dug, and that was Jeremy Beecroft that was planned to do that. And that's just an old Sandpoint well from what I was told. So that'll be gone.
Be able to get that well out of the setback? New well?
I don't know that I can get that out of the setback just because it has to be 50 feet from the mound, and there's just not enough space to work with all the excessive setbacks from the county roads and the wetlands.
They're showing the well right there in the front, right?
Yes, correct.
We heard anything from the county highway department on the setback?
Nope, they didn't have any issues. They were sent copies of it.
Okay.
So.
So is the sanitary permit for a holding tank or sanitary permit for the whole mound system?
It was the holding tanks because I couldn't pay for it all at once, so then he's gonna do the septic in the spring.
So you don't have that permit yet, so you're
No.
changing the septic? Okay.
Cause I got this notice before I even got that permit, so I said, okay, put it on hold for now then.
So they're current with their permits and everything. If they upgrade the septic, they need to get that corrected, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what he's showing there on that map, does that look like it would work for setbacks and stuff for that mound?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And the tanks are already there, you can see them now.
Yes.
Now, was the deck part of the original permit, or is that something new here that we're?
That was part of the original permit.
So that was taken care of, so.
Yeah, basically, the issue was, like you said, he got into it and had to replace more than 50% of the components. And, you know, the rules are in place, so something is not conforming, eventually they want it to go away to a conforming location. In this case, he doesn't have really a conforming
Yeah.
location to
Yeah.
go.
That's right. Do we have anybody here speaking towards this here? Nobody else? They calling in? No other letters? Anybody? No? Okay. Any questions here? No? I guess we can close that portion of the hearing and deliberate.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. I think the three criteria here, the unique, this property here on the corner there, slope, the slope that's there, everything else. The cabin's been there for 60 years. It was in dire straits, so that, I mean, it's a huge improvement what's been there, and he hasn't changed the size of it.
I don't think there's any harm to the public interest of
No.
the right of way of the road or
No.
anything that's.
And it's a win-win that it's cleaned up and looks good.
Mhm. I'll make a motion to approve variance 2204 Redunzel. Following conditions, the property erosion control and stormwater runoff to be in place. Follow all local, county, state, and federal requirements for this activity, and the proper sanitary permits to be obtained for for future use.
We got a motion, do we have a second?
I second it.
Favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Carried. See them on the regular business hours and we'll take care of you. Thank you. Okay, one more. Variance 2205, Pete's.
Only if you want to see them.
Well, you brought them.
Of course we do. All right, good evening. I'm Craig Slander, and I've assisted Jeff and Christine Teets with the variance application. Jeff is also here with me tonight. If he has questions of him or myself, we can answer them after the little brief presentation. We do want to thank you for considering the application. We do realize variances are for unique situations only. We do see the property having unique features and meeting the three-step test. The primary thing is the lot depth, which I'll get into in a little bit. The property that they own is two small lots that were created back in the 1960s. At that time, a seasonal cabin was constructed. And I know you've been to the site. It is constructed on piers. It's seen better days. And they do want to change it to or build a year-round structure. In considering options for this property, they did combine already the two lots that they owned into one by a certified survey map. This eliminates the possibility of, two structures being built on their property, as far as, residential dwellings. Their neighbor to the south, the Allens, have also combined their lots into one parcel by a certified survey map. What this does allow is to average the setbacks, by the current zoning ordinances. But looking at it, it really doesn't give us enough depth and things like that. The variance really is to build a new cabin, patio, and detached garage with reduced setbacks to the lake and to the private road, / wetland, because the limiting factor is really the wetland. That limited when the lots were created, where the road could go, or the easement, because that is really right up to the wetland. The request is really trying to balance the new year-round structure due to the site limitations and balancing the setbacks. As outlined in the application, we did consider other alternatives. That's kind of a unique part. What do you do? And we went through this for a number of months trying to look at things. One is building a new dwelling in the same footprint. That is permitted by the zoning ordinance. If we did, it would be closer than the proposed structure, and we could actually build it up to 35 feet tall. The second option is building a new dwelling with the average setback and a patio where the existing cabin is removed. The challenge with this is the new dwelling would be extremely narrow. And again, based on the private road and the wetland, it just really limits what we can do. We do believe that the proposed application is positive. It does balance the reduced setback between the lake and the private road and wetland. We are moving back from the lake, further. It does locate the proposed dwelling further away from the lake than the existing cabin. The design would be a lower height than would be permitted if we rebuilt the structure, where it is permitted or at the existing location. And this still does allow good access to the two properties to the north and allows adequate parking on this site. Maybe just to show you, since I did bring the pictures, these are the same things that I sent to you as far as attachments. But this is the attachment I sent, but here is probably the best you can see. But again, the private road goes here. We are shifting it over closer to the wetland in the easement area. And it allows not only for at least a 20-foot bypass, but also cars parked in front of the garage. So it's trying to balance the site in those aspects. But really, we're also asking two other things: is to reduce setbacks on the garage. Again, you've viewed in the past that garages are needed in our climate, and we are looking at to ask for the variance for the garage for 5 years down the road, or up to 5 years, just from a logistics perspective. So, with that, I guess Jeff and I are available for any questions, unless Jeff has some comments.
No, just similar to the previous variance request, our intent is
believe that improve that area of the lake. So as well, and you can mention some. That area of the lake.
Five-year is only for the garage aspect.
Correct.
Any everything then or not? You usually do only 1 year.
Well, they can ask for a variance on anything, and you guys did approve one last year, I believe. That was a 5-year request.
We can do that.
Yeah.
It's
Right
not
now,
something you want to do regularly because, if the rules change, that, you know, then you mess it up for everybody down the road or something. So that's kind of why they like the 1-year deal is kind of why that's there, but we have allowed that.
Right.
This is just a garage, not a bunkhouse or something above that
Correct, garage. It does have storage above.
What's the pitch to that? Oh, you got it.
It's just shown on the drawing. Is it a 10-12, I believe?
12, it says.
12. Yeah, the final design yet to be developed. I mean, these are conceptual. Again, trying to allow enough space and height. So the heights are shown on there, and that is kind of a maximum height. It may be a foot or two less, depending on the final design.
Mhm. And what are the sidewalls? Did you have the sidewalls on that?
The garage would be about a 9'4".
9'4", say 10 foot.
This would get an 8-foot high door in there.
Okay. Then the house is 28 foot max. Have I seen that somewhere?
30 foot. It's 26 on the ends maximum, and then 30 foot because there's a 4-foot bump out in the center. Right here, if you take a look here, it's showing 26 here, and here's a 4-foot bump out, so it makes it 30 feet.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, floor plan, yeah, height, I'm looking.
Oh, height.
26 on the plan.
6 is what I'm seeing everywhere.
28, or is that 28? Need my glasses.
They're saying 26, but
It's 26.
I thought I
Yeah.
seen 28 somewhere.
Yeah, it's 24 in the garage, 26 in the house.
Any other questions? Anybody here, any other comments on this one? Nothing on phone, no other correspondence, neighbors, town?
You had the correspondence from Allen's?
Oh, when you just texted
I
me.
just one sent you, yes.
Yes.
To your neighbor or?
Yes.
Neighbor to the south,
Neighbor to the south. That's
The
the
one-
one that just did his.
buying their lots
Buying
also,
lots too,
yes.
okay.
Yes, we got, email from them saying, fully support the project and the variance approval that they're seeking. Will add value to the properties on the point and provide a nice upgrade to your property. That email was 5:56 PM today.
Just got
Under
it.
the wire.
Okay, that's all we have.
Need new information.
No other comment? Okay, we can close this portion of the hearing then, and we'll deliberate. They kind of summarized the three criteria. Certainly, there's unique features to this lot, there's no doubt about it. We are moving back. So I don't think we're contrary to public interest. I think we're better off to do what he's proposed, and is gonna blend in much better than a 35-foot high building back close to the water. I don't have an issue with the garage. As long as it's, you know, garage only and not another living quarters. Need our 20 foot to back out, so we're not backing out blind onto the road since our big thing there. think breaking it up from the house would look better, having a green space between that and the house than one big, huge, long building I think that would look worse. Where are we at on the impervious surfaces on this one? Are we okay?
I did not submit anything with that, I don't believe, but we are currently over 15%. It will be under the 30%, and I've got 2 infiltration basins planned, or infiltration that's shown on the plan.
I've seen that, yeah, okay.
So we'll be addressing that properly.
Yeah,
Okay.
they'll just meet whatever.
Whatever requirements
have.
that they show, perfect, okay? And it'll be a holding tank. And where does the well go?
And the garage,
Okay.
far side of the garage is shown there.
Oh, yeah, I see it, yeah, thanks. Any other discussion, or if not, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve variance 2205 Teets, with following conditions: the shoreline restoration be part of this proposal. Proper erosion control and stormwater runoff controls be in place. New sanitary system be installed for the dwelling. Land use permit to be obtained for the structures prior to construction, and follow all local, state, county, and federal requirements for this activity. And maximum height of the house structure is 26 feet and garage 24, is that acceptable?
Mhm.
And then we need
And then
to
a-
allow 5 years for the.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and variance, allow variance to extend 5 years.
Yep, allow the variance for the garage addition to be a 5-year term.
And then, in the garage, we got 10-foot sidewalls and 12 pitch. And get that in there with the maximum 24 feet. And no living quarters.
That'll work.
Got a motion, do we have a second?
I second it.
In favor, signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Carried. So just contact them all business hours and we'll get you going. Thank you all for your patience tonight. Our first time back in a few months, so we're a little rusty.